You have
You
that one.
know,
And would you really want to play a Ricky Clockwork? You know, if you are actually afraid of that pick, it's not the support
no.
duo of dreams, is it? And you're not really setting up for anything with the sleeping dart. So I think that Ricky, it's safe to say he's going to be ignored in this game. XERXIA, they see that the supports of their enemies, they are quite squishy. So damage dealing
Mhm.
heroes, something like a Snapfire, is that a thing?
Yeah, the Snapfire follows up on Clockwork really well, right?
Yep.
You get the Clockwork, hook shotting in, dividing the team fight. The Snapfire gets to shoot them all down, bang, bang, bang with those cookies from a distance. Excuse me, the globs. Very nice. And of course, the cookie, like, because people will pick up a four staff versus that Clockwork usually pretty fast. And the cookie is a decent way to stop them from actually four staffing out or to follow them. It's all good with that synergy.
When we look at the supports that Fnatic banned out, I feel like we're in Eastern Europe. And you talked about the Viper, and yeah, it seems like someone on XERXIA wants to play. There's gonna be a Marcy, which is a hero I have seen been picked up even on the core role, but this is looking like a support Marcy. We have our lanes, a Viper Marcy, the Nature's Prophet Clockwork, or maybe we switch out those supports. But either way, these lanes they are very, very strong.
They are, yes. And with the Marcy, we now do have another jumper for those backlines. We have some good empowerment for the Nature's Prophet later on as well. I think she's going to be wearing a lot of hats this game, but like it suits her this time around. I'm going to be jumping onto the Mirana, onto the Crystal Maiden, making sure that they cannot give follow-up to the Primal Beast going in. And meanwhile, you have a Viper that is going to be the target of that aggression. Viper, very tanky, very nasty to engage into. And of course, like once you're in versus a Viper, either you win or you die.
Very
No coming back from that.
Talk to me about the bans of XERXIA. They got rid of the Monkey King and of the TA, and then they picked the Viper. Like, doesn't doesn't really seem like something you'd want to do because Viper does well against those two.
He does, yeah, but I do think that partially we're talking about specialist picks here. So
Okay.
both the Monkey King and the TA, there's a lot of respect going towards Armel there in particular. And now we go for the Gabby Terrorblade. I was wondering when this guy would rear his ugly head. Let's face it, he's not very pretty. Because, yeah, with all of these stats and the lack of magical burst over on Xerxia, the lack of clear on these illusions, they have bloody little AoE damage right now. Like it's very much negligible. And Xerxia will have to spend some bounce first before they can actually pick something like, I don't know, but what would you even take here? I think a Leshrac? An Underlord? Underlord sounds okay.
If it is a Primal Beast, maybe it could be an offlane Primal Beast because you are
Yeah.
laning into a Nature's Prophet. Wouldn't be too bad. I like the Terrorblade pick. What Fnatic were definitely missing out were physical damage, wave clear, lane out push, right? And now they have everything like that. You don't really deal with the Terrorblade illusions too well, and during the meta, you actually can't deal with the Viper. So it's the down timing level 2 when the Viper is actually very weak, where you pop the meta, you have the reflection, and you go for him. So I'm happy with that one. I have seen Terrorblades in the past actually lane quite nicely against the Viper.
Yeah, and they're taking out your favorite counter to the TB. No Darkseer. Very unfortunate. None of that normal punch. And none of the big vacuums.
There are gonna be those. Darkseer is a hero that at every point in the game counters the Terrorblade. Like even if the Terrorblade by some miracle crushes the laning phase, is super strong, then you just create an illusion of him, which is stronger than he is, at least in terms of damage output. So I'm a big fan of the Darkseer. I'm a big fan of the ban from Fnatic though, because that would have been a really nice hero for XERXIA, especially if you have two of the supports who really don't mind being deep in.
Yeah, and that last band there also feels really good. Like that would have been another hero to kill the backlines. The silences are very like, brutal against this entire lineup. In fact, of course, the Terrorblade is going to build a Manta style eventually, but it would have been very inconvenient. Loads of magic damage, loads of ways to freely push out the lanes. And Xerxia go with the Pangolier as their... I guess a lot of the illusion clearing heroes that you could still have here were absolutely not playmakers. And oh, Fnatic take a page out of Xerxia's book there. JG has been playing this Keeper of the Light with great effect, especially versus Lina lineups. But I've got a feeling, yeah, that's going into the hands of Armel, and Armel is a bloody good keeper of the light. He is scary as hell.
I got some really bad news now, Kips, considering that you are a fan of Fnatic, that you like these guys. I just got info that Fnatic have announced that they're leaving Dota. So this might be the last tournament that we're seeing this beautiful mark here from Fnatic being a part of our community.
Are you messing with me right now?
No. After reflecting on the sustainability of our Dota 2 roster, we made the difficult decision to temporarily withdraw from the title. Above all, we want to thank ever-passionate Southeast Asia audience and all players and staff that have supported us with the title. Read more. That is an article that was given to me by one of the BTS admins, so I don't think that Dougie is necessarily messing with me here.
He really does not seem like the type, does he? Well... Dang.
I'm gonna switch over to the game scene fairly soon, so hold in your tears so that we remain, based here on the stream. Then we can shed a couple of tears there for Fnatic.
Well, yeah, like that's the team that took me in. Those are the guys that gave me the chance. There's 3 players still on the squad that I've worked with. Wow, that hurts. I guess it was inevitable, but wow, that hurts.
You know that Serbian players used to play for Fnatic. You know that as well. You know that Fnatic also bootcamped in Serbia once, and it was not Serbian players. It was the No Tail squad. I remember I was a kid, I didn't even watch professional Dota at that point, and they had we had a tournament in one of the shopping malls here, and Fnatic came and they just destroyed everyone. That was the No Tail gang. So they came and they crushed all of our Serbians here on our home turf. So I don't like them. Just kidding. Of course, I do have some nice memories of that lineup as well, given that our guys played for it at some point, and then they boot camped in our country too.
Yeah, like a very storied history on Fnatic for sure, but not a lot of good stories to be told in the last couple of years. And now with dropping down to Division 2, like financially, it can't be worth it to keep that squad on at that point. And that's a very like a whimper of an end for a big org.
Yeah, so we have to hope. Maybe they win the BTS Pro Series, right? And then they're like, yeah, we can do this, guys. We can still stay in Dota. So let's go, Fnatic. That's going to be a bias cast. So no, we want this to be as equal of a series as possible. They want to see some good plays. Let's go, Fnatic. But okay, let's talk about the lanes here, and let's stop messing around a little bit and not really talk about the bad news. We have Fnatic right in front of us. Maybe the last time that we're seeing them in Dota, probably the last time that we're seeing them in Dota for quite some time after this tournament has ended, of course. But Kips, talk to me about the lanes. Any lineups that you prefer, and any lanes that you think are gonna be going really good or bad for either side?
So midline, very much Fnatic favored. I don't think that JG is going to have much to put in the way here during the laning states, especially because the way that you normally use the shield crash to secure last hits is Armel's not interested in blasting you when you've got that on. There's actually a really big delay, so he's always going to be able to hit you in the face unless you dodge like this. And eventually Armel will just push you out under your tower. He's going to start farming jungle camps, and you're going to have to start hunting him eventually.
And Armel was always very good on the Coddle, like always. Yes. He has played this hero for a very long time, maybe even when it wasn't so popular back in the day. So he knows what he's doing. So JG, I wouldn't want to be in his shoes, but so far he's doing a solid job. What about the side lanes? Anyone in particular where we might be seeing kills?
I think Marcy gets tossed his Crystal Maiden into the Viper. She is dead as a doornail. TB in general, I'm not the biggest fan of this matchup, but he can stand his ground, and the opposite will also happen, right? The Viper not actually that tanky early on. If you get caught in a metamorphosis, you do not win the right click war.
Oh, Gabby, he gets a little bit too close for comfort there. Gets 4 poison attacks on him. It's still level 1, so he's not going to be taking all that much damage, but unnecessarily could have waited a second more, and then the damage wouldn't even be close to what he took so far. That's really nice for XERXIA that they pulled the lane back. So once the Tearblade and the Crystal Maiden are level 2, they're at their strongest, you just farm, and then once you get level 3, where that is when you go in.
Exactly, and even Gabby here trying to get some creep pulling of his own done. Absolutely not.
Oh, Rupido, you thought you could fight and you were very wrong. A couple of more hits from the Tearblade. He's not stopping until you die. And they could have played it safely. They could have stayed in their tower and got the level 3, but they decided they want to fight, and it was a bad move.
Yeah, that was Bombi basically killing his laning partner there, unfortunately. And I get why he feels strong, but you can only do that with the CM and not with the Terrorblade, as Gabby demonstrates.
It's not good when you get the Terrorblade too close to your Viper. He's not gonna have a meta now, so that's nice. But at the point where the Viper is level 3, I think the Terrorblade doesn't want to fight either way. Anyways, though, top lane, KP on the Primal Beast. How does this one go? I know that the Primal Beast can do well against the Nature's Prophet, but when there's a Clockwork in the mix, how does it turn out?
DJ really has to keep this Clockwork busy, and he's trying his best right now, right? Because KP can for sure clear out everything that the Nature's Prophet throws at him. He's got a lot of HP as well, so between trampling the waves and having, of course, Area Protection in his backpack, going to be buying the Chainmail first as opposed to Blaze of Attack, which will help him out greatly versus all the right click of the Nature's Prophet. Yeah, he's going to do just fine, but the Clockwork has to not be there. If the Clockwork is there, they can separate these two from each other, stop KP from killing the waves, and that is where the Nature's Prophet really starts to profit.
Joe Noel getting jumped on by Bombi, but Bombi yet again is gonna be regretting his life's choices. This time around, not gonna be killing Rupido but himself, but as soon as Rupido got to level 3, the Terrorblade went down, and in terms of CS, this Viper is doing well. Side lanes, so far, amazing for XERXIA, especially the top lane. I mean, KP, he's not having a game.
Yeah, which is remarkable because he does have the tools, but this Clockwork running interference with the Mirana. And I think that, honestly, DJ feels a little lost here as well, because he doesn't have too much to do to help this lane out, but at the same time, ganking mid into... Like, a Coddle does not have a good disable. This is not a DK that you have, you know, I Dragon Tail, you Arrow. He can go fishing for JG, he can go try and secure some runes, but there's not much else for him to do here.
Fnatic, not the greatest start to the laning phase. Armel is winning the laning phase here, but he's gonna be caught by Bombi. I don't really see this turning out to be a kill, especially with the Pango not really wanting to come over, but it might be enough to force Armel out of there, especially because Pango, he seems to be hunting.
Very close to level 6 here as well. After JG plant down that deep ward, because that is where the Coddle is going to be when you dive eventually. And once again, DJ finding his impact this time. Gabby popping another meta for another Viper kill.
I really like that decision. You see that on the top lane you're pretty much useless, so you try to make something happen somewhere else. Armel gonna be targeted, Swashbuckle misses, and now they're gonna be blind, and they are using their spells like they can't see here on the side of XERXIA because they did miss almost all of them. Armel will place a ward, is going forward. JG, where do you think you're going? Swashbuckle, it's gonna be there in a second, he gets the kill! Oh ho ho, it seems like you underestimated the Pango, and the infused range ups keep him in place. Bombi will die in the mid lane, but that is a small price to pay. You got a much bigger kill.
Absolutely, and keeping this Coddle from farming is your #1 priority in this game as XERXIA. He can really cause you a lot of trouble, can keep all these waves out that the Nature's Prophet will be pushing in. General being very hard to catch, but you know what?
Doing well.
He's dead. General is dead.
Karma? Oh, the treant sacrifices itself. Feed the trees. Yeah, he is feeding the trees to the enemies, but saving his life by doing that in the process. XERXIA, they're doing really well. I really like how they play Dota, and this is the fast-paced Dota that has allowed them to be the first ones on the board there in the group stages.
Exactly, and look at where their vision is right now. This is all three of these wards are just for hunting Cottles with, and Bombi is already in the area. I do think he's gonna go down here, but if they want a Rolling Thunder here over on JG, they can.
I think Bombi wanted to get a kill there. He was baiting them in to jump in again because he could have used his rebound onto JG and survived at any point there, but he decided to just want to turn. So greed will cost him his life, but it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I agree. Those wards, this is it's open season for Armel. Poor guy.
I mean, listen, he picked a Coddle, he did this to himself, he deserves it. We're gonna just have to see how well he deals with it.
And Kips tells me before the game starts, I'm a fan of Fnatic, I like them also. She tells us they brought me into Dota, and then yeah, Armel, you deserve to die, you deserve to get all of the hate you in this world, and that's definitely showing the love. That's tough love.
Exactly, that is tough love.
True.
You gotta be realistic about what you picked. If you weren't ready for them to hunt you, then, you know, pick a Dragon Knight.
Oh, Rupido almost dead, but he turns around. Who dies? Him or Gabby? Gabby dies first. Rupido will lose his life, but doesn't matter. He's happy to go down for the Terrorblade kill. Marcy not gonna be taking that much damage with the Nature's Wrath coming through. You have to get out if you're Fnatic. That was a lot of damage going from the Nature's Prophet.
Exactly. Armel immediately choosing to back off because you never know when this Nature's Prophet is going to choose to get involved.
Okay. That's a kill from the Pango. Swashbuckle onto the Mirana. DJ, he did have some good moves. That's not going to be a great one. Bombi this time around not going to be baiting anything. The Illuminate definitely not going to be hitting. And the Marcy will be fine. But the mid lane tower of Fnatic probably will not.
Absolutely not. No, Armel was stuck on his bottom lane for way too long. And now he's going to come in too late to do anything about this tower, really. I guess he clears the wave, but I don't see any reason for JG in specific to back off. Yeah, there we go.
I don't know if you noticed there, that one Pango illusion, it looked like the real hero to me. Like, I couldn't really see a difference.
That looked really weird.
Now, this one, you can see that it's an illusion.
Ah, a bit of subterfuge, I see.
Now, omelette du fromage. We all know how from again, you didn't watch Cartoon Network, so you don't know. You don't know in Dexter that when the only thing he can do is say omelette du fromage, all of the women are just
yeah,
loving
him.
I
love it. Okay, can you say it again?
No, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. I don't think you're not gonna be able to focus on the game.
That's true, actually. Alright, fine. But after the game?
Okay, true. Fine. Arrow into the Pango. He has been frozen. He has been narrowed, but he will be fine. Illuminate will be doing some damage as well. Junuel has to let it go, but he's immediately going to be stunned up, not being able to continue the cast there. KP comes over. He starts stepping on the snake, but you need to cut its heads off, and Armel will do exactly that. Now they want to go for more. They found the Pango. He's not going to be taking all that much damage because of the shield crash, but still it's going to be enough with a blinding light to finish him off, and Marcy jumps away, but the solar bind, it's keeping her in place, will get a nice stand, but it is gonna kill her in the end. And a triple kill for Armel. He might have deserved to get all of the hate. That's because he's just so good. He got a triple kill, and KP, he'll get another one as well. Armel says no mana, but he actually has an HP problem. No problem at all, given that he has the Urn of Shadows.
Yep, and with the Boots of Travels, he is right back to top, where there has been a push from Karma, but it immediately gets rebuffed as well. And this is the real power of the Coddle. This is exactly why I say, alright, you deserve to get hunted down, my friend, because there is literally nothing else that XERXIA can do to stay in this game. And they certainly overextended themselves on bottom there. Too much HP lost on JG, I think, at the start of the fight, so that he couldn't actually lead his team into charge to fish for the Coddle behind the tower.
Yeah, that frostbite into an arrow looked like it's not gonna have any impact in a fight, but it actually did. I really like that you brought it up. It really was one of the bigger things that allowed Fnatic to completely overtake it. And now, just like that, they were losing, but now they are ahead. Not by a lot, of course, but Armel is stopping the network charge, so he's gonna be quite happy with it.
He is. Smoke from XERXIA now on the level 6 for the Clockwork. This is very powerful. Any of the heroes that you find with this, there is no 4 staffs in the work.
Mirana can leap herself away. So let's see DJ if he'll be able to do it. Here comes the rocket flare. He's digging his grave. He knows that death is coming. No, don't get away from that one. They're gonna have to carry you back, and exactly that will happen. JG gets the kill, and that is gonna be a nice pickup for XERXIA. But if they don't get the tower, it's really not that big of a deal.
Jaja immediately walks towards mid lane already. I think he's got his eyes on the Januel prize.
He does miss the hook shot, but doesn't miss the cogs. And Januel, he is gonna be a prize, a bonus for XERXIA. With fast moves, once they got the hook shot, they will get 2 kills. Unfortunately for them, both of them on supports, but a kill's a kill.
Exactly, a kill is a kill. It opened up for some damage on the bottom lane, but Fnatic says, you know what? You had to peel DJ out from under this tower before. You're gonna have to do it again. Like, just... You wanted to play fast, you wanted to come to this mid lane, get multiple kills here. Just come back bottom. You know you need this tower. Group up for us so that we can farm in peace.
DJ has chosen the bottom lane to be his home and to be his end twice in a row. And now he's hiding in the trees. He does have double leap, goes to the side. He still has not been spotted. They know roughly where he is, but not exactly. They'll take the tower down. They're getting the pings off, but Fnatic are coming. They're saving. They're coming to save their boy. And he jumps to the side. He's gonna be found because they do smash their boy, but the Viper will be smashed in return.
Absolutely, and yeah, I think this is a Bale smoke, frankly. I'm not really seeing the positive sides of still going in here. XERXIA, what?
Yep. Bale smoke is gonna be used to lose one of your heroes, but JG says, at least I'm taking the CM with the swashbuckle to the side, gets the kill, but as he get out, now you don't have the swashbuckle, and you're gonna be trampled to the ground. Another triple kill for Armel, and no amount of pressure is gonna be enough for this guy to not be able to come back into the game completely and just crush you twice in a row.
Yeah, that was just plain inexplicable. I think if you're a XERXIA and you look at that play, there is no explanation. I think you just all sort of look at that, shrug, and are like, we're not going to do that again, are we? No, we're not. Okay, cool. Next play.
Being a coach, you probably sometimes have to, say a couple of hard words to your teammates. Armel, he has been found. Hookshot, you have to move, but the creeps, they go in. They say, we will protect our guy. Still, yeah, we'll get his TP cancelled anyways, and that's gonna be a kill. Did Armel cancel that TP? What happened there?
Atos.
Oh.
Atos onto Karma.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that one. Okay, Atos does cancel it out. So the hookshot missing, it really doesn't matter.
Just a little bit of, moral support, Clockwork flying in, and yeah, that's it. 4 staff, 4 Armel. Finished now. Of course.
We're seeing this Gleipnir build on the Nature's Prophet more and more every game. Even before the BKB, they finish off the Gleipnir, and their ability to just come into the fight and catch these hard-to-catch heroes is insane. The Coddle now has a 4 staff, but if he had it earlier, maybe it would have helped. Now it's a little bit too late to save him that time, but he will have it for the future.
Exactly. And XERXIA will have to make sure not to overlap their roots now in this turn, so Clockwork in first, maybe, Nature's Prophet in second, other way around. You cannot use both at the same time anymore, and I think DJ is not long for this world.
Yeah. It's good that he's Dota Jesus, so he is gonna be coming back to life. Reincarnation, yes. Easy.
He died for his team's sins.
True. Though I think those were his own, to be honest. Still, it is slightly for XERXIA, but the game is equal. If you look at it currently, is there a favorite? Is Fnatic happy with this one, or would they want to get a slight lead here, despite having a Terrorblade and potentially the stronger late game?
Yeah, exactly. Fnatic is completely content with the situation as it is right now. The Nature's Prophet has, the team with the Nature's Prophet has taken 2 towers, but they've got one of their own as well. It's not the end of the world, and their TP is farming really contently. Like, the Manta style is going to come out in about 200 gold, and the TP can already get involved in fights if he so wishes when he has that item.
And a good Manta game as well against the Viper, against the Gleipnir. It actually does make a lot of sense. And also, I mean, even more ability to push out the waves. KP goes for a BKB. He's gonna force out the Rolling Thunder with it, but other than that, the 9-second BKB down the drain.
That is quite a big waste, especially because KP is having himself a really good game. That's a pretty early BKB, especially on top of all of the items that he already has.
Oh, DJ, he probably could have gotten out of that one if he wanted to leap twice immediately. Jaja, he is going to be taken down now, so it is going to be a 1-for-1. JG comes over without the Rolling Thunder. He just cannot do all that much. He does have the shard, so killing the Pango instantly is going to be very tough, but I think that's the deal now for Fnatic. Force out his ulti, then reset, and then go.
Absolutely. And the real game that they're playing in the meanwhile is between Karma and the two-wave pushers on Fnatic. So both the Coddle as well as the TV, they're playing on opposite sides of the map from each other and shoving out these waves. And Karma constantly has to go back and forth between them in order to deal with them. Now, of course, he is a Nature's Prophet. That's exactly what he's good at. But he does have his hands full in just dealing with the waves this time, and it doesn't leave a lot of time for him to actually, make plays of his own, get involved in pickoffs, that sort of thing. There's no threat. They always know where he is.
We'll see if he can find a way to be a part of fights when he's everywhere on the lanes. But even with that, it might not be enough. Look at the TB illusions on top. They're pushing in, and it is allowing Fnatic to be the ones to go forward. And looking at Vision, XERXIA, they have no idea. No idea this is happening. Rupido is being targeted in the mid lane. Okay, it's not an easy target though.
No, it isn't, but they smoked out the top lane and didn't get anything out of it, and now instead they're gonna get backstabs.
Gotcha. Here comes the Illuminate, and yep, Pegasus is gonna be trampling down the poor Clockwork. They're turning around on the Primal Beast. They want that BKB used. KP, on the other hand, he doesn't want to use it. Eating through the trees. Now they come alive, but a little bit too late to block him in. And XERXIA will not get any kind of revenge for their fallen comrade, while Fnatic, they bring their Terrorblade into the fray. He doesn't like this mid lane tower, and make no mistake, he'll take it down.
Absolutely, and there's the power of one Force Staff versus a lineup that only, after the Clockwork's down, only has one disable. They need that clock in order to lock somebody down properly. Otherwise, Armel, with his huge reach that he has because of how fast he is, will just always save whoever gets caught.
Of the light, he is being targeted. They want Armel dead. Currently they don't see him, but they're gonna try to find him, and now they do find him finally. Glitnir is gonna be connecting. The hookshot does not. He goes for a TP out. That's very optimistic. Right next to a Clockwork. His Force Staff was already used, but they have the dust. Even with the Moonlight Shadow, the Selemene, the goddess, she will not protect you, and it is gonna be Karma getting onto a mega kill streak. Even though Fnatic are controlling the map better, they still do find a kill, and that's a big deal.
It is. They were forced to spend the Rolling Thunder in mid though, but you know what? They get another DJ kill out of the bot lane, and they're now grouped to push here without any big threats on their other lanes. That actually looks pretty good for XERXIA.
Yep. I have to say, this is, in terms of the movements from the teams, it looks a lot closer than what we saw in the previous series, and I like that. Even if this would end in a 2-0, I think these teams are much closer to each other than what we saw between the first teams in the day. But that's gonna be tier 2 for XERXIA. Finally, they get a big objective going their way, and the outpost, it will follow.
I mean, that's one of the things about Dota, right? Sometimes you get really close games between teams that aren't actually that close in strength, just because of the way that the drafts and the luck of the draw happens sometimes. And other times you get not so close games between teams that are actually pretty much 50-50. It's all possible.
Yeah, they are beating a former Division 1 team. Currently, 1k gold lead, not that big. Gabby, nice juke around the trees there. He'll be fine, but look at his illusion. He sends them forward, and JG is gonna have to step in, or the Nature's Prophet might have just gotten low enough for some kind of a response possibility for Fnatic. Not gonna be happening though, and in the end, the illusions die, and the Terrorblade is pushed out from the top lane, finally.
Finally, indeed. But I'm just looking at the itemization from XERXIA here, and the one big absence that I see is the pipe. I understand the Viper has already got the Guardian Greaves, he's going to buy a Force Staff, he's doing his best, but he does have the Axe queued up after as well. And as useful as it is, especially versus big clumps of illusions, all of them are going to be dying to the spam from the Coddle while this is going on.
Every man for himself. I guess they are going to be going for Gabby, but he has a BKB. That's going to be a nice second BKB. Forced out just like that. KP coming over. JG still in the Rolling Thunder. Will be fine. Has the blink. Not going to be caught. I'd say that's a win for XERXIA.
Yep, absolutely content. Got some vision. Grouped everybody from Fnatic together. And it only cost you that Rolling Thunder, which is only a minute cooldown. It's fantastic. And now all you have to do is be ready for the fact that, of course, Fnatic is immediately going to try to capitalize on the absence of your one team fight spell.
Clockwork from the air. He's gonna be taking the outpost, but Fnatic on the ground are gonna be killing JG. I have to say, this game, we're only seeing pickoffs. We haven't seen a big engagement, and Fnatic now going into the Roche. We might just actually see our first big one. There is a buyback on the Pango, 20 seconds until the Rolling Thunder, and the Clockwork has already scouted this. Do XERXIA respond?
Ooh, that's a very hard choice to make. I think they are, because this Terrorblade is going to be too much of a problem to deal with otherwise. But how are we going to get in here?
They're thinking
There's no vision
about it
anymore. General gets the ward.
They gave up. They gave up. It's gonna be Jaja trying to go for it. He is up in the air. Hookshot, Eder ready. Nah, he takes it. Jaja decides. Jaja is... Oh, man, he got scared there. I can't believe it. This guy usually is the manly one, but this time around he's gonna be shivering with fear and doesn't go in.
And I guess the other person who was really playing too scared there was Karma. Like, if your team has made the call that you're not going to contest erosion, you gotta be pushing that bottom lane as hard as you can. You could have gotten a lot more damage on that bottom tower if you would have just consistently pushed it on Karma. But instead he retreats into the jungle, scared that somebody's going to, you know, make use of the idea that they're all in the Roche pit to sneakily TP to bot instead. And now they don't get a Roche and they don't get a bottom tower, whereas that is the classic trade, right?
Considering... Oh, just a second. Karma, he has found our Mel. He does have the Gleipnir too, and no blinding light will help you. Karma, he's gonna be shielding his eyes with the BKB and just gets the kill. Again, we're just seeing pickoffs. We're just seeing heroes die on different sides of the map, but no big team fights yet.
No, the map is literally too split out for that between all of the different pushing sides. And Karma is making the most out of it. They know roughly where KP is. There's a hook shot. Yeah.
He doesn't have...
You try to escape that. You don't need to.
He doesn't have mana for a BKB TP. Okay, now he does using the Soul Ring. He uses the BKB, but he's gonna be hook shotted immediately. Karma says that's enough. He gets himself away. So, Kips, when are we gonna see that big team fight, right? We are all here hoping for big engagements, but it's only fast movements around the map, around the map. One hero dies, then rinse and repeat.
I mean, I understand that maybe you all are waiting for the big team fights because you get the yellow lot and like, oh my god, it's the big spells. I am very fascinated by the way that the map is being played by these teams. Like, a couple of years ago, the way to defeat SEA teams was to split push them, and I just didn't understand what was happening on the map well enough to actually get a good fight together because they were phenomenal at fighting. And now instead, both of these two teams avoiding each other, and these are not the big, you know, the big ones that are going to go to Lima. These are Division 2 teams, literally.
So wait. Can you somehow share your passion here? Because we are everyone here is trying to have a good time. We want to get excited, and you know, from the movements I do sometimes get excited. But any particular thing that is fascinating you in a way that lanes are being pushed, in the way that area is being contested?
So for me, the real big deal about Dota is that you want to always have manpower advantage. And the best way to do that, the best way to get information about where the manpower is spent is by shoving out these waves and forcing people to react to them. And both of these teams are playing a very big information game right now about what can we see by forcing the reactions, can we stay on top of the waves without giving too much information ourselves. Karma is doing a very good job at both pushing and staying alive. Like, this man has been on all waves the entire game, and he is 7-0. He hasn't actually died yet, in spite of doing his job so well.
Yeah, very nicely done. And now when they see Fnatic, when Fnatic finally does give information to their enemy XERXIA, they use it immediately. I have to say though, you said how to beat Southeast Asia teams. You split push, given that both of these teams are split pushing, everybody is a winner.
absolutely. And yeah, like it hasn't worked for a while yet, I might add. It's the old recipe, and the new generation of teams, especially with XERXIA here, clearly showing why it doesn't work anymore.
Again, we're going to be seeing a side lane pick off. Pretty much we have seen 34 kills happen that way in this game. And that maybe, you know, minus 3-4 if we count the ones in the laning phase. One interesting item I have to say about this, the Primal Beast having the refresher orb, for which he doesn't have the mana. I have no idea. Is he expecting the chakra magic to go his way?
Yeah, I guess so. It's gonna be some chakra. It's gonna be getting fed some mangoes by the CM.
Okay. They're gonna smash the Marcy, literally. Marcy is dead. Armel
gets a bigger kill.
Yep, definitely is a bigger kill. So, you know, Coddle caught. Armel thought he was safe. He was getting a couple of triple kills in this game, but now they're gonna continue punishing him and focusing on him. There is no goal lead. 28 minutes. We are looking at an equal game, Kips. And who is finally gonna break this apart? Who is even winning?
Who is he winning? I mean, I think Fnatic is still winning. They've got a Terrorblade with a Skadi. The Aegis is going to time out, but that's okay. That just means he's got more slots to put items into. And eventually, as long as you get to put this guy on the enemy high ground, you're going to force their base. But, you know, Gabby hasn't actually gotten close to it quite yet. The wave game has been going on too strongly for him to properly siege. The entire Aegis was basically, I don't want to say wasted, they got a tower out of it, right? But they couldn't actually play forward and choke out and pressure, never mind to create an opportunity for themselves to siege the high ground with that Aegis, just because of the wave game that is still being played.
KP is throwing a tantrum there because the Coddle is dead. When the Coddle is dead, I can't use my items. Literally, because well, if I use them, I don't have mana for any of my spells. Rolling Thunder being used. Force Staff on the Crystal Maiden is going to keep her alive for the time being. How long is that going to be with the Swashbuckle? Not too long. Arrow does connect onto the Marcy, so it seems like the supports are going to be going down. One on each side. Jaja, he takes up flight right now, getting himself out. Rupi, though, he might not be so lucky. The BKB being used by KP. He used his refresher, and guess what? Well, he can't use any more of his spells, so Rupido is just out. Karma now stands his ground, wants to fight. He does have a BKB TP out. He might have to use that one. He wants to live, but he's standing his ground and fighting. KP is dead. Beautifully done by Karma. He gets himself away. Jaja, he has stayed there to make sure that his guy stays alive. Will pay with his life, but in the end, it's going to be XERXIA. They take down a core, and they lose only the supports.
Wow, the shot calling in these fights is absolutely surreal. The way that this fight splits up, it is so hard to decide where to be. And Jaja is still living there, still taking a bunch of attention off of Karma. Really, really mattering in the end there. And JG was still in the back. John Well tries to de-ward. Gets the ward, but pays with his life because JG is cleverly hanging around.
JG has played with some supports, mad supports in their pubs, because I know when I play Vision, I'm very mad at my cores when a support is allowed to just walk up there and de-ward it. So JG, he stays in the area and he waits for that CM. Yes, the ward does die, but he does get the kill. He did have the illusion rune there to remove the frostbite, so really no chances for the poor CM to live.
Exactly, and she didn't even get to place her own vision again, so this triangle right now is absolutely pitch black. And she's going to have to walk up there again, probably ask her chorus, like, please, will you come hold my hand while I put my vision down? I'm scared. It's all extra attention that needs to be put into this triangle now when, you know, she thought she could just walk up there and sort everything themselves.
Yeah, does remind me of one of the voice lines from one of our colleagues. Would you come into the lane and hold hands with me? Shout out to our colleagues there. I don't know if I got that one exactly right, so I'm sorry, but it is close. It is close.
It's very close.
The game still continues to be very close. Gabby has the Skadi. Karma has the Skadi. 21-20. Gold lead, non-existent. I have to say a little bit of a thing that I like for Fnatic. The XERXIA, okay, now I don't like it because both of them have a gem now. So it is gonna be wards dropping down like flies around the map.
What I am waiting for now is this Hex on the Coddle. this is going to make such a huge difference in who actually gets to bring down each other's scores. Like, once the BKBs are out, this Hex just powers up, and we have seen the BKBs being spent relatively liberally in getting all of these side lane pickoffs.
So Viper is going for an Aghanim Scepter. He's gonna have the nosedive. So some nice disarm there for the Terrorblade. Also nice AoE damage. I have to say though, I'm not really seeing a nose of a Viper. I don't know if people remember Harry Potter and Lord Voldemort, his face, you know, it's gonna be snake-like and he loses a nose. So why does a Viper get a spell that is called nosedive? It could be called head dive, you know?
Maybe I guess it's just like the nose on a plane, right? Like there's no nostrils in that one either. It's
okay. Okay, true. And we can go by that approach. He does have the nosedive right now. We saw it there. I really would like a better sound for it though, because I can never hear it being used, and the animation is very subtle. Let's call it that way. So inside of the fights, I can't really know when he used it.
It doesn't really look like he's hitting the ground, right? There's not really any momentum behind it. You compare it to like the other dive, which is like the birds, the Beastmaster, and like you know when you've gotten a bird to the face. Whereas that is just like it sort of bump, like it's a nose boop maybe.
I think the idea is that in the real world we don't really have flying snakes, thank God. So we can't really connect it to something from the real world. Whereas for the hawks and stuff like that, it's pretty much seen. I had like a bird hunting other smaller birds literally hit me on the hand once. It was very cool to see it.
That is very cool. I'm trying to remember. There's a story where owls was it in like Australia or something? It's always Australia. Like where people have to wear like eyes and stuff on their hats because otherwise the birds would be hunting them along like a popular, I think it was like a running and like cycling route, and the birds would just be harassing them and trying to attack their hats.
Man, imagine being hunted by an owl. That doesn't sound too good. Okay, pause is still up. The Terrorblade is still disconnected. Hopefully Gabby does get himself back in. The Crystal Maiden disconnected. I don't know if Fnatic are still in the boot camp, but they did disconnect at the same time, or it might be an issue in Southeast Asia currently, but hopefully it does get resolved soon.
I can tell you one thing, Fnatic is not exactly the kind of team to boot people out of their boot camps. Like, yep, you're fired, pack your bags. I presume they'll be able to stay there for a while longer while everybody sorts out their business.
Okay, hopefully.
If they will still there, of course.
Hopefully they can sort out their internet, if that would not be a problem, so that we can continue watching Dota here. Fnatic, XERXIA Game number 1, let's go, action. We want that one, but we are just gonna be seeing heroes on different parts of the map. This time frozen though, as we have been seeing it for 33 minutes. I have to say, it has been nice seeing the movements, but no big engagements, and I'm not sure that we are gonna get that big engagement. Even if there's something, it's gonna be a chase down from one team to another, and teams are probably more looking to bail if they see things going south than go for a full commit.
I think so as well. Like, this could very well be one of those teams where games where you never get to see that. Like, normally there's at least one, right? At some point, you gotta go through the choke point, up the high ground, and that is where the one fight is going to happen. But in this game, yeah, you're right. Like, both of these teams are much more likely to take a fight out of their base, and one of these two is going to end up getting chased down, falling over, and after that, the buildings will just fall to the mighty push, and that's a scenario that could happen for both sides.
So JG looks like he is going for a Shiva's Guard. From what I've seen, yep, that's gonna be the case. So he is definitely focusing on countering the TB with an Axe with the Shiva.
Yes.
Fnatic are going for a smoke. They want to force out a fight in the mid lane, and this might just work.
They have only the Primal Beast to actually create the engagement, though. The rest of it is just scouting with these illusions, getting information. There's the Primal jump in.
He jumps in, the arrow is coming in, it will connect, doing a lot of damage. The 4-staff on Rupido, he gets the nosedive onto the high ground, and that was a nice animation there where you can see it. Rupido goes for a TP out, no one is dying. Karma comes over, he wants to kill the Primal Beast. The last time he was able to do it, but now against the Scotty he can do it, and Gabby gets into his face, he's trying to lifesteal back. Not gonna be happening, you can have 10 sidekicks. But the villain will win this time around, and JG into an Illuminate. Finally, a big fight for Fnatic that breaks the game in their favor.
Absolutely, that's an immediate TB into the pit. Still has a quarter of his metamorphosis left. Beautiful. And the other thing that happened there is JG is doing his job. He's sticking on top of the support, but he doesn't actually have the tools to take him down this time around. And that's rough, because I'm sure that if you would have been with the TB, maybe you actually get to make a difference, because he is indeed itemized to take a lot of these illusions down, but he had another job to do, and now neither of these two fights in a split engagement went well for XERXIA.
And just like that, the game that was even for 30 minutes is now 10k gold in favor of Fnatic, who are with the DD and the Demon Zeal. Luckily for XERXIA, that DD is gonna be expiring, but without your Nature's Prophet, you can't even push out lanes, so even when you're back, you're stuck in your base.
Yep, and that's a situation that they've managed to avoid the entire game long. We've seen them juggling these lanes expertly, I might add, just to avoid this very scenario. But now, yeah, you're going to be losing buildings, and you're going to be facing even more push by the time that Nature's Prophet is up next.
Oh, he does dodge the Viper strike there. Viper has the 4-staff, not going to be using it just yet. Primal Beast stays in the cogs, then leaves the cogs, and he's gonna be fine. They do defend their melee racks for now, but there is gonna be a metamorphosis in 20 seconds, and Fnatic, I don't know if they want to leave the area.
Yeah, with the meta up again, I really don't think so, and they're just waiting under the cover of the shadow to see if they can bait out any unfortunate XERXIA heroes.
Gabby disarmed, immediately uses the Manta, and with the billion illusions, he can just let him be. They are going to be disarmed again by the nosedive and the swashbuckle, and they're protecting their racks as we will not allow our base to fall. The arrow does connect onto the Viper, but he's going to be safe for now. Nice defensive dispose. Gabby goes in again. Swashbuckle disarmed, not going to be good enough. The Raxes have fallen. Fnatic, they got what they came for.
And this is the part where the Kotl spam becomes so obnoxious, because normally they've been working around this, but you can't anymore. This is the fight in the choke point.
Jaja arrow is coming, and he's not going to be dodging it, is he? Oh, he does. But anyways, he has been found, lifted up into the air, immediately cancels, now tries to fly away, but the sun will not allow him to move a lot, but the TP will. He gets himself into the base and will survive.
Very nice. A lot of the information, everybody drawn to the bottom lane. That's about as much as you can get out of a Clockwork just simply farming a lane as you could possibly get.
Hex is there on the Keeper of Light Armel. He has that one. That is a big deal for sure. Nature's Prophet, 6-second BKB. Not ideal at all. You still have the Spango to fight. He has the Shiva's Guard. No Basher just yet. Are the Pango items something that can turn the game around? Okay, speaking of turning it around, someone needs to save this Viper right now. BKB again from the Primal Beast. He does have the refresher, but the Viper will survive. Rupido is fine. They now jump in onto the Primal Beast, and even with the double BKB, he's going to be taken down. That's going to be the first casualty of the fight for Fnatic. They did take down the Clockwork. Let's see now. Terrorblade goes for the Viper. Now he has been hexed up, but a jump in onto the Terrorblade. He wants the Thunder. He needs a target. But no, he has the Aegis. He will not be using it right now. Yeah, and this the Crystal Maiden is going to start doing the damage right now, but still nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and he's dead. Now it's XERXIA. They're going to be turning this one around with a couple of buybacks. They want to fight the Hex onto the Pango. The arrow into the backlines does a lot of damage, but doesn't connect on anyone. Murana does get taken down, but the Viper will fall down as well to illuminate. JG needs to blink away with the roll up. He removes all of the annoying things from himself and will be fine. Karma chasing for more. He's level 25. This is the thing they were waiting for. Gabby, he reclaims the gem underneath the noses of his enemies and does manage to get out.
Yep, that is really mostly down to the Kotl spam that Fnatic don't lose more there. I was concerned for a second that XERXIA would run out of steam just because of the fact that they needed to commit so hard in order to get the Aegis down. And then you'd still have to deal with the Terrorblade, but they actually got multiple good kills off of the back of that, and Karma was not forced to pop his BKB at all during that engagement. He still had that one in his pocket the entire time.
Okay, so you said beat Southeast Asia teams with split push. Is there a better way to split push than a level 25 Nature's Prophet?
Absolutely not.
So
No.
win.
And my dude, I said that used to be the case.
I know, Kips. I'm just trying to see if XERXIA can get back into this game. The last fight did look promising, but they're still 15k goal behind. They're holding their last outer tower in the mid lane, just as Fnatic is, but they did lose their Raxes on top. Is this still a game that is heavily favored for Fnatic, or does this level 25 actually allow XERXIA to get themselves into better engagements?
I think it's gonna help, but their push hasn't been so fast that the Nature's Prophet has been in true trouble, right? His net worth has been at the top all the time. He literally got his first death in the engagement not a couple of minutes ago, so it helps, but it's not gonna be a game turner.
Arrow. Not gonna connecting on anyone, but the stars are dropping from the sky. XERXIA not gonna be too taken aback by that one. Rolling Thunder gonna be used. They're going for the Mirana. That's gonna be a good way to start off the fight. They take the gem this time around. Terrorblade not gonna be stealing it, or is he? Gabby thinking about it as the Force Staff to keep himself away with the flicker. He's very fast, and finally the gem. It is there for XERXIA.
In, out, and in. The Caudle was on the top line shoving that wave, but Karma is now there shoving it right on back out again. And Fnatic once again forced to wait because of those pickoffs. Like, what I'm hoping, because sure, split push might not be necessarily the way to beat SEA anymore, but like good split push is still the way to beat any kind of team, because as long as you can make sure that they never are able to face you 5 versus 5, that for some reason you always have a numbers advantage. If you just know how to do that better than them, then yeah, you always have a shot. It's like the old adage of the ratting that got started all the way with Alliance back in the past. Like that is still true at its core. We just, you know, don't get our TPs cancelled as often anymore.
I think Fnatic didn't time the Roche, because Gabby was just staying in the pit there 2 minutes before he can actually spawn. So that is
Impatient?
very weird. Yeah, very impatient. Like, I want a Roche. I want another life. I'll not just that. Maybe he just wants an Aghanims. Super bad. There is going to be a smoke being used by Fnatic. DJ, he does have the ninja gear, so he has his own. So that's going to be 4 heroes going towards the bottom lane. And can they catch the right target? Yeah. JG would be big.
This would be a really big problem for XERXIA if they get caught here. BKB popped.
Arrow somehow does not connect, but it doesn't matter. They still kill him. So where's the second gem, Kips? Now that they're gonna be reclaiming that one from the Pango, but where's the second one?
Where is the second one? Indeed. The last time I saw one, it was lying on the ground near the Dire tier 2 mid, but
Gabby reclaimed that one. He reclaimed that one. He gave it to DJ. Then he died. Then Pango got it, and then he died, and he gave it away. So that's that one gem. But one is lost. Okay. There were 2 gems, right? There were 2 gems, right?
I'm pretty sure there were 2 gems. Yes.
Okay. So it has been lost somehow. An item that actually, once it's put on the ground, it gives vision. But okay. The gold lead continues to do well for Fnatic, but the one topping the network chart is gonna be Karma. Is there like an item he gets right now, or is it time to go for the Moon Shard and the Aghanim's Blessing and stuff like that?
Sorry, I was completely distracted with looking for the gem. I
broke
that was
Kips.
gonna happen.
I broke Kips. Did you at least find it?
No, I did not.
Then it's no excuse. Win probability 90% for Fnatic. The question I was asking, Kips, so pay attention now. No
yes,
gem,
sir.
gem no. Okay. Karma, he's full on items. He's topping the network chart. What is next? Is it Aghanim's Blessing and the Moon Shard, or is he replacing one of his items?
I actually think that the entanglement could do quite a lot of work for his team. So I would like to him to grab the Aghanim's Scepter first. Because right now, I think in the pure fight against the enemy team, it's all about who splits up the fight better, who gets to actually single target people down, as opposed to him just having the right click damage, right? We've already seen that he doesn't actually win that fight.
True. Even with the sidekick, he still loses it.
Yes.
So there is a Boots of Travel 2 on the Keeper of Light, and he has an Octarine Core. So he has, you know, effectively no cooldown TP as well. 20-second cooldown. Okay, it is something. DJ shows himself in the mid lane. Is not gonna get jumped on. He sees that his life could be in danger and just immediately runs himself away. That's gonna be that for...
Everybody is clustered.
They are. They're close to each other, but the top lane is being pushed in, bottom lane as well, but that is a bigger problem on the top lane. DJ gonna be pushed back. He does have 2 leap charges in the 4-staff. He's gonna try to use all of those to live, but the Rolling Thunder finally comes to him, and DJ is still alive. He's still alive. He used the Guardian Greaves. No, he's gonna be dying in the end. Rupido loses his life as well, so that's gonna be 2 heroes dead on the map, but the third one will follow, and he belongs to XERXIA. Gabby, when he starts smashing someone, the heroes, they just don't live for too long.
DJ just lived too long there himself, forced a lot of engagement out of it, a very deep commitment from the 2 cores out of XERXIA, and they know he's the one that they can get, but man, do they pay a high price for it now.
Fnatic is gonna be very mad with the RNG right now. They were hoping for the Aghanims. They already have a refresher on the Terrorblade, a refresher on the Primal Beast, so this refresher not that big of a deal. But they probably would have wanted that Terror Wave, but it is what it is. Clockwork in a good position to maybe steal this one. Let's see if he can do it. Jaja, can you be the hero? He takes a flight. Iron Man is here, and they definitely need a hero, but he goes a little bit too early, and Karma goes in. Roche is dead. Where's the Aegis? It's on the ground. Someone pick it up. Pick it up right now, and Gabby will take it for himself. He snatches it in the end. XERXIA, they killed the Roche, but they don't get much out of it.
And Karma TP'd out of the middle of all of that?
Yep.
That was wild. I don't think anybody could click anyone in there. Oh.
Another... sorry, Kips. Sorry. No, screw the cheese. Let's look at the game. Fnatic, they are coming to the high ground. There is gonna be a Hex on the Marcy. Fnatic, the glyph is gonna be enough to dissuade them from going for the push right now. They're gonna have a meta in 15 seconds. They're gonna have a double meta in 15 seconds. And Gabby's level 25. The Sunder cooldown is there. I haven't really seen too many Sunders. There it is. Oh, it's a nice one. Onto the Viper. Force him in. And he's gonna be turned into a little critter. Still very much alive. Viper lives. Does have the nose dive. Doesn't really want to go forward. JG taking some damage from the Terrorblade. Not gonna be able to dodge that one with the Manta. But he got very, very close. Top lane is being pushed out by Treants, and mid lane being pushed out by Karma himself. But is this gonna prevent their access from falling? Yes, it will. Backdoor protection comes into play. Gabby can do it.
Yeah, really heads up play from Karma there. Still keeping his mind on 2 waves at the same time. Taking out mid and taking out top. Now, however, top lane has finally been shoved in. I don't think this TV is gonna stop.
He's not stopping. They're going for the Viper again. They want to kill him. The hookshot will prevent the pulverize, and KP is stuck in the cogs. He doesn't want to be there. Jaja doesn't want to be there either. They're going onto the Terrorblade. They're starting to smashing. Gabby gets forced after the low ground. Actually forces himself down to low ground. Does have the Sunder, and give me your soul, Marcy. Just let me in. We're gonna try to kill you again, but he has another Sunder if he wants to use it. Your HP is mine. Arrow will connect on Bombi, who just bought back. He doesn't want to die again, but the Arrow is just way too good still. No one is gonna be going for him. JG comes forward. He has the Rolling Thunder, but look at the damage that he's taking. He is gone. He's gonna get up. Everyone is buying back on the side of XERXIA, but now there's gonna be a Sunder. The BKB a little bit too late, and Gabby goes forward. Karma TPing out. He will be successful because the Terrorblade is gonna be disarmed. Your demonic powers are no good here. And finally, they will bring down the Terrorblade, but it is only the Aegis. This guy is immortal. We're gonna try to kill him again. Has the force after the low ground. They're gonna stun him until he is dead. And finally, the Terrorblade does fall for the 3rd time in this game. Jonuel gonna be dodging the Sprout, but he cannot dodge the right clicks. And the constant TPs coming from the Nature's Prophet. It is gonna be JG that gets the kill. XERXIA hold, but the price is huge.
That was literally all of their buybacks, I think. 1, 2, 3,
Nature's
4.
Prophet. Nature's Prophet didn't buy back.
He was the only one not to do it. And he is well and truly maxed out now. Armel?
No. Karma, can he punish this? There is a 4-staff on the Armel, but there is a Hex also. Moonlight Shadow. Karma, you cannot see the Keeper of Light, and it's not because of the blinding light.
He literally does not have enough slots to hold the dust anymore.
Yeah, he can't even put it in his backpack. it's a problem, you know. First world problems here for Karma. I have too many stuff.
Absolutely, but that is 2 heroes down on the side of XERXIA. Everybody on Fnatic is buyback, and they're angling here to see if they can maybe get another kill, which would enable them immediately to run for the base again as soon as that Terrorblade is back up again.
The basher from the Pango coming into play. He's gonna be arrowed right now, so you know, like bashing people, well, Mirana likes arrowing them. He is level 25, so the Rolling Thunder, the cooldown is gonna be very, very low for the Pango, especially because he has the Spell Prism. He's going for an A on this, because XERXIA, they want longer fights.
And I just have to giggle a little bit at the recipe for the Aether Lens in the Pangalier's backpack. Because yeah, he could finish that, but then where would he leave his boots?
You don't need boots on a Pango, you're mobile.
Karma, found on top.
That would be a big one if they can get it. He's dropping low. BKB not gonna be used. Hex into an arrow. Just too much damage onto him. Does have a buyback, but he, like you mentioned, he's the only one. He used that one, and every single hero then who dies is just gone from this game.
Well, at least they won't be dead for long because it's going to be a very short. Oh no, they found a Marcy Bombi.
That's a level 25 Primal Beast, so he doesn't care about your BKBs.
I can't believe it.
Why is Stupido so tanky? Like, what the hell? He doesn't even have that many items.
I don't know, man. Viper is a beast. And now?
Oh, Rolling Thunder. That's gonna be a nice ball for the Primal Beast to play with. And now it's gonna be destroyed by the Terrorblade. Don't give a ball to a beast. He's just gonna rip it apart. Jaja flying. Arrows are flying as well. And in the end, he does die to the Illuminate. 2 heroes dead on the side of XERXIA without buyback. The Mirana will lose her life. That's 1 on the Fnatic side. But you need 3. You need to use 3 heroes to kill the Terrorblade. Gabby. Silver Edge at the ready, gets out, another glyph will be used. Look at Karma, he's on the other part of the map, but he understands I have to go back, my team needs me.
His team though, what's left of his team right now?
Yeah. My team, what is left of my team, they need me. That's gonna be the words, and they're not gonna be too that nice of a word for Karma to use, because it's just gonna be destroying their morale currently. XERXIA, they're on a bad path currently, but Fnatic on a good one to win this game. And a buyback from the Mirana. They're going for the Viper. He is still very, very tanky. The Hex onto the Primal Beast doesn't allow the Pulverize, but that is a dead Viper for 120. Bombi will be next. Karma, you think you're strong, but you're gonna get smashed as well as your team did. And with that, it's gonna be a team wipe and GG called. So game 1 going to Fnatic.
Game 1 finally going to Fnatic, but man, XERXIA really took him for a spin here, and this is exactly what I expected out of this series, where, you know, you've got a team that's probably mentally not in the best place, but has stronger players, more experience, versus a team that's mentally in a fantastic place, has been showing like really strongly, but who are just less experienced, and they gave him a lot of trouble for this win.
They definitely did. It didn't look easy for Fnatic whatsoever. I mean, XERXIA, they really made them work for it. It was a good performance from both teams, I have to say. You know, the way that they read the map, the way that they moved, the way that they engaged, it just seemed like XERXIA maybe needed to apply more pressure earlier, but it seems like they just couldn't.
Yeah, and I think that what that really comes down to is that XERXIA actually has a pretty big need to engage. They engage in pretty hard, right? Especially the Marcy Bombi, you can see by his skill score, as well as actually, of course, Jaja. Like, both of these supports really need to go in order to have their impact. So you're always going to, you know, either win the fight or lose heroes. You don't get to dance around the issue like Fnatic does. They had to engage him pretty hard on DJ a couple of times just in order to get him down. And then, of course, lost kills in return for that. And Fnatic is just a little less dedicated to these fights. They can decide to cut it off, step back, especially Armel. KP can also roar his way out of things. So I do think that XERXIA had a little bit of a harder draft to execute here as well. But the differences were minimal in the end.
They definitely were. And before we go on to a break, Kips, I'm gonna make it a little bit easier for you so that you can breathe finally. In the end, the gem was found and Jonuel was holding 2 of those. So we don't really know where it was, so the mystery hasn't been solved, but at least the gem has been found. Also, Fnatic, they have found their strength here in the BTS Pro Series and they win game number 1. Can they continue this streak, or will XERXIA equalize it? Well, we don't know, but we'll find out after the break. So stay with us and we'll be back in a couple of minutes to bring you more Dota action.